Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Riley Foster, Foster's Custom Steel. Doing a little project today. But I've been asked by a few people about my dragonflies that I build. And not that someone wants to build them, just I'll sell them. But they'd like to know how I get them to balance and what I make them out of. So today, I'm going to show you how I turn this into that. I just got it standing here clamped down on a vise on my vise right now, but you can see the breeze will keep it moving outside, but just the lightest touch, good balance on it. And once you see how I do that, you'll realize it's not that difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on showing you, first of all, how I do these and some of the materials that I use. So remember, right now is a good time to reach down there and hit that thumbs up. That way you don't forget about it at the end of the video. And give me a like and a share and a comment or two. Hold on one second. Let's get this thing started. Yeah, the material I use for the wings, I've got a bunch of old military grade shelving. And I picked it up at a estate sale in Burlington probably a year or so ago. I cut them out of car hoods, but this material is a lot thicker, a lot stronger material, and it cuts pretty good too. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a few of these out. Let you see that. Have the ground. There we go. Hold on, I got a customer coming in. All right, we're always checking in work. So that's a job this guy has. I've got to do some work on his lawnmower, and he brought his air compressor. He says he got a leak on it, so I think I can fix it. But you get an idea of where I get the wings from. Like I said, I got these shelves from an estate sale. They weren't a pallet full of them for a couple of dollars. So I get to use all that stuff. So I'm going to go back in here and I will show you how I put these together. There's a few other things that has to be done, so hold on, let's take this trip together. All right, guys, I've got a couple of wings cut out for the Dragonfly. This is one of them, and what I do, let me turn it around this way, I stamp my initials and the date on all of my work. That way, years from now, people can look at this and say, who in God's earth was RJF, and what does 24 have to do with anything? So I stamp the RJF, which is Riley Justin Foster, and the date, year to date, is the year 24. So that's that in a nutshell. Yeah, let's go on to another station and I'll show you how I continue to build these things, and shortly you'll see how they go together. All right, guys, got to get everything set up. When you're doing these videos, you got to make sure everything's ready to go before you get started. So this is the body that I clamp, or that I cut out of conduit, electrical conduit, roughly sighting the legs in. And again, every one of these are just close. There is no magical measurement. You just look at them and say, that looks about what I want, and there's where you tack it. And again, you better be left or right-handed, ambidextrous if you're not. The world don't wait. You gotta be able to switch hands and keep on getting it. All right. You can see these go together pretty quick. And I'm probably venturing to say there might be $10 in material in the whole Dragonfly. Alright, so that is the legs attached. Flip it over. Tap that down to where they lay fairly flat. I'm going to glue these eyes together right quick. Sure. And there we go. Alright, so what I do next is I weld the legs on because I wouldn't be able to reach up under the wings to weld them on. Make sure we're on that pretty good, yeah. All right, so now it's time to put the wings on. I'm going to actually cut the heat back because these wings are a lot thinner than that rebar, so hold on one second. All right, let's put a couple of wings on this Dragonfly. And again, most of this is just guesstimation of what looks good. More. All right. Just a little bit. And I'm going to show you how I put the body on here. Hold on one second. All right, so as I had pointed out before, that tapered piece right there, I just put it in the press and taper this by a little tool that I made. because you would not get that conduit on there without having that taper, because they're the same size. So you screw that up on there like that, and for me to make sure it stays where I put it, now there you go. That is one Dragonfly. The biggest key coming up is how to get that thing to balance on that post, and I'm going to set up the tool for that. So when I started building these Dragonflies, I wanted, if you set them on the ground, they're nice, but they're boring. I wanted to be able to let them move in the breeze, and I showed you earlier that they will. Now I'm going to show you how I get that. When I first started building these, I was trying to adjust the legs to get the balance right, and that was a disaster. It took hours, and I never did get it right. So when I figured this out, I went ahead and made all of the legs, welded them close to a 45 degree, yep, and got the weight down below the body, and then as simple as a screw, just that screw welded on top of this stand, and I'll show you that it works out really good, just like this. So you can see I can move this around to get that balance where I want it, and it stays on pretty good. But you don't want to sell a sharp pointing stick to somebody either. So I take this chisel and this hammer, I'll hold that right there pretty good, balance it out, something like that. What that does is that knocks a dimple in that piece of conduit. So now all I do is I weld that little bitty screw where that dimple is, and that gives me the pinpoint to balance. So hold on one second, I'll go ahead and take care of this one. Alright, so this Dragonfly is done. If I decide to paint him, I can. You see that screw right there is what I welded onto that conduit where that dimple was, and then I drill a dimple in the top of this rod, and that screw goes right in that dimple. That gives it the freedom to move in the wind, spin and turn and do all that good stuff. And yeah, if a hurricane or a tornado comes by and this is your most concern, you got it made. So if it falls off, you put it back on the stand. They're pretty tough. Guys, remember, reach down there and give me a thumbs up if you've made it to the end of this video. It's almost 14 minutes long. Thanks. I appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel. Remember to give thanks and have a great day.